Hi everyone, this is a long overdue video since it's a topic that often gets overlooked, and it's what gear to wear for mountain biking, which can also be applied for everyone and is not girl specific. You'll find chapter markers below so you can skip to the sections that interest you the most, and I'll only be covering the riding styles that I personally participate in, so everything here is based on my own experiences and preferences. Keep in mind that gear choices are always personal, so some may disagree with some of my opinions, but this video is meant to help those who are new to the sport, looking to explore different riding styles, or even just considering a gear upgrade. I'll also break down the reasoning of gear choices, whether it's functional or just for style, so you can decide what matters most to you. So let's get into it. Okay, starting with the most common type of riding, that is trail bike and enduro riding. If you do ride XC, you can still wear this. It is probably more preferred to wear the spandex version, but if you don't, this works as well. And I have the bike that I would typically ride for trail riding next to me, and that is my RA Delano Peak. I will start from head to toe explaining what I'm wearing for my trail bike outfit. Also, in the description below, I'll make sure to provide as much information as I can on the products that I'm wearing and showing you. If you can only get one gear item for mountain biking, I do suggest you get a good helmet because that is the most important thing to protect your head. And I'm currently wearing a laser Jackal Kinetic Core half shell helmet because it has a 5-star safety rating from Virginia Tech, which is the highest safety rating you can get. And safety is very important to me. In mountain biking, there's usually two types of helmets that you'll wear, and that's a half shell or a full face helmet. And typically for trail riding, you want to wear a half shell helmet, and that's mainly because of all the climbing that you do. You want to have all the airflow to keep yourself from overheating and sweating too much, because a full face covers more of your face, which gives you more sweat contact. And there are brands that have made full face helmets that can convert to half shells, so you can take off the bottom piece, but then you would just have to carry it when you're going up. And there are some that have a longer full face. It's kind of like almost a hybrid to offer a little bit extra protection in the back and on the side. And there are some that also offer a lighter weight full face helmet option for more airflow and a lighter version of a normal full face helmet. So that's up to you to decide what you feel the safest in. And I don't think you can really go wrong with whatever you choose as long as you are wearing a helmet. All right, getting into the second piece, and that is your sunglasses, which the obvious is protecting your face from the sun, but also the not so obvious, if you're newer to riding, is protecting your face and eyes from branches and trees that you come across on trails, and that does happen quite a bit. And I'll take these off because I feel too impersonal talking with these on. Getting to tops and bottoms, I highly suggest getting mountain bike specific apparel because there's a lot of thought that goes into it. Things you can get from wearing mountain bike specific clothing are sometimes UV protections. Sometimes they'll have odor protection as well to keep your clothes from getting stinky. Usually you'll look for Polygiene for that. And then they usually provide extra stretch, extra ventilation, extra durable materials to help if you get a branch or a wreck. So there's lots of pros to getting mountain bike specific clothing as well as fit on top of that. And there's lots of brands to choose from. I have been lucky to try a bunch, and I'm always switching it up to see what I like. I always go to Jensen USA first to see if I can find deals or find something new to wear. And as far as style for a top, I typically like to wear a short sleeve, but they also come in a 3/4 sleeve, also to provide extra protection with branches and the sun. But I just like a short sleeve. And then for shorts, I typically always wear a longer short because I always wear knee guards. A style thing in mountain biking is you want to make sure that you don't see skin between the top of your knee pad and the bottom of your shorts. So since I always wear knee pads, I wear longer shorts. So I will also check to see if I will get a gap when I'm pedaling as well. And as I just touched on, I always wear knee pads when I ride. You will never catch me without them. And I've tried lots of different ones. I've even done a review on Jensen USA, which I'll put a link here, reviewing some different ones. These ended up being my favorite for trail riding. They're POC, and they're just really ultralight, and that's what I look for the most in a lot of gear that I wear, is just feeling like I have less gear on. And for gloves, this is a preference thing for people on whether or not they choose to wear gloves. I think most people typically do choose to wear gloves. The pros of wearing gloves are they help with protection if you fall. Depending on what gloves you get, some have extra protection on the top, which can help if you're riding in a highly vegetated place. Also, it can help with sweat and like soaking that up, because sometimes your grips can get slippery if your hands get all slick. And you'll often see some riders that go without gloves, they'll rub their hands in the dirt before they go to ride, just to help with the sweat a little bit. Also can help with not getting such bad calluses on your hands. I do choose to wear gloves every time I ride. I have played around with not wearing them a little bit on the dirt jumper, and that's because it's not a very long ride or technical. I'm just doing jumps, and it's kind of nice to get that extra feel a little bit. Typically for mountain biking, you want to always choose to wear crew socks, which go to about mid-shin. I pretty much always just wear black stance casual crew socks because I typically don't like socks that are marketed as cycling socks. They're usually too thin and slippery for me. And the reason why we wear crew socks in mountain biking is to help with extra protection, again, from branches and brushes on the ground. And sometimes you might kind of hit your flat pedals, and sometimes it adds just a little bit of extra protection. Next, we have our shoes. I always choose to wear mountain bike specific shoes again, because number one, they usually have a stiffer toe box around your toes that offer extra protection if you happen to dab your foot on the ground when you're riding, and it can help with branches or rocks or hitting anything. Extra protection, that always helps. And they put a lot of thought into the soles as well to give you the most durability along with the best grip on your pedals. They usually have extra ventilation and stuff. And then if you do choose to ride clipless, you're definitely going to need mountain bike specific shoe. One thing some people also don't know about mountain bike shoes is if you don't have a BOA and you have the traditional lace system, usually they'll have a little elastic band to tuck your laces into to keep them from catching on your pedals. So that's really nice to know if you didn't know that. And one item for trail and enduro riding that you can't see is the chamois. So you don't have underwear underneath or on top of this. This replaces it. The reason for wearing this is because it has padding sewn into it. And this is helpful in providing you with extra comfort when you're climbing and on a very long ride. You will definitely want that. And this is one item where you will want to get a women's or men's specific fit, because I do have different padding in these, just like you would for a mountain bike seat. And to show you a little more casual option of what I just showed you, just by switching out my tee to a regular casual tee, this has been more of a favorite for me lately in what I'll wear. I just kind of do prefer a little bit more casual look. And so this is pretty common for people to do. The only problem is it's not a performance top, so you might end up ruining a lot of your shirts. Another option for trail and enduro riding is you can wear pants, totally acceptable. I also threw on the 3/4 sleeve just to show you what that looks like. And for trail riding, I have a thinner pair of pants that is made out of the normal shorts that you would wear. I wouldn't wear these ones specifically for downhill or park riding because they're just not durable enough, especially if you get a butt buzz or are wrecking a lot, which kind of happens in downhill. But just to show you, it's a really comfy option. And honestly, even in the summer, I have been liking to wear pants a lot. What you like to wear evolves and changes a lot based on what type of riding you're doing and just what you're feeling. So it's always okay to change it up a little bit and just kind of get a feel for what you like wearing. And to touch a little bit more on protection, that is up to each individual on how much protection they want to wear. If they want to wear a full face, half shell, knee pads, no knee pads, even elbow pads, chest protector. Some people wear neck braces. That's all up to each person. So I hope we can all agree that each individual's level of protection differs from others. Next up is gravity fed riding, which is my favorite segment. And it is downhill, park, shuttling, or free ride. And these are for your enduro or downhill bikes. Also to accompany this, I have my RA Superior Peak downhill bike. You can see it has a ton of suspension for our gravity fed activities. Just like with trail riding, you can go in different directions and be more performance-based, more casual-based, and pick your level of protection as well. If I'm riding park or downhill, I do prefer to wear a long sleeve with pants. You will still see people wearing the same outfits they wear for trail riding. So for some people, the only change might be with the helmet and goggles. I'll go from head to toe again and throw on my full face. Okay, and to be honest, I am pretty much wearing a full face like 98% of the time that I'm riding a mountain bike, because the type of riding I like to do, which usually involves a lot of jumping. So again, the most important thing to me is the safety of my helmet, and I have on the Laser Chase helmet, which is also a 5-star rating with Virginia Tech for safety. And then I will always wear goggles with my helmet. A style tip is to always check your goggle strap. Make sure it's not like this or like this. Huge style thing, and just to make sure that they're on your face well. I typically follow the rule of never wearing sunglasses if I'm wearing a full face. Another major style thing. Getting to your top and bottoms again. Generally, with this type of riding, gravity fed, I'm going to naturally have more protection. I am more prone to wear long sleeves, especially if I choose to wear elbow guards, because then it covers them more. And it just adds a little bit more extra protection if I do happen to fall. You tend to get your forearms a lot when you fall. And then you might see some racers choose to tuck their jersey into their pants. You might see this more commonly in downhill racing. It is a moto thing, but that is also maybe a style option. It's probably more aerodynamic for some racers, but I kind of like the flow of the jersey when you're riding. Pretty much always wearing pants now, especially since I wear knee pads that have shin protection as well, so it goes all the way down to here. Also, you want to have thicker pants. I've really been preferring Darko lately. Reason for thicker pants is mainly for the butt area, because a lot of times you might buzz your tire on your butt and you want that little bit of extra protection. Also, just a thicker material for more possible wrecks. Socks and shoes are the same for me, as well as gloves. One thing that I've really started to try to make a habit of for myself for the extra protection is always wearing some type of chest and back protection. And some people wear it over their jersey. I've been preferring this under jersey option of D3O. It does make it a lot hotter, and that's always a trade-off with having more protection, but I've been choosing to always wear this. That's pretty simple. I will show you a more casual option now. Just like for the trail, all I really changed was my shirt to a casual top. And for women, a trend is to wear more of a crop top t-shirt. Is it more protective? No. But do we do it? Yes. But a lot of times I will end up wearing a long shirt, especially if I'm choosing to wear my chest protection, which is usual. Also, I took off my knee shin pad just to show you what that looks like and how it has the extra shin protection this much. This is my favorite pad to wear under pants. Also to mention, I never wear the chamois padded shorts when I'm doing the gravity division, because I'm not pedaling, so I don't need the extra padding for the seat because I'm barely using it. So this is a more common free ride or casual gravity look for myself. I really hope this video was helpful for you, especially if you're new to mountain biking and just looking for somewhere to start. I know I've personally looked for stuff like this when I've started new sports. I hope I covered some of those questions that a lot of people usually skip over and don't think to mention. If I did miss anything, let me know in the comments and I'll make sure to answer them for you. And I will see you next time. Thanks.